It's your boy Xavier again with another video, and this time I wanted to talk about something it's been bothering me a little bit, because a lot of times you'll see it in a lot of videos. They'll tell you, you need to be successful, you need to be successful, you need to do this to be successful, you need to do that to be successful, but very seldom do we actually see a video that tells you that you need a plan to be successful. And I know they mean good. They mean good heart by it. Every person that ever makes a video, ever stands in front of the stage, ever writes a book, they all mean the same things. But sometimes we miss some things. We miss some pointers because we're talking about so much. But I didn't want to miss this point at all, and I wanted just to clear the stakes just for a little bit, because it was an eye opener for myself as well. You want to plan for success. You know, and there was a saying actually that I learned when I used to do Amway, and I learned so much in Amway. I'm not sure if you do Amway, if you don't do Amway, if you're thinking about it. I mean, it's great. You learn so many tools. It just wasn't something that I wanted to further in, me personally. But it doesn't mean that you can't do it. If you don't do it, that's just based off of your decision. I didn't do it. That's why I couldn't do it. Not because I couldn't do it, and that's why I didn't do it. Okay, so it's the opposite. I chose not to do it. So just keep that in mind. And but I learned something when I was in there, because there's a lot of principles that you learn, success principles, and one of them was I remember listening to one of the leaders up there. I won't put any names out, but listening to one of the leaders up on stage, and I remember he was like, everybody wants to be successful, but not everybody wants to plan for success. It's a big difference. It's literally cooking before you eat. Everybody wants to eat, but not everybody will cook to eat. So some people will literally starve or eat little small things just because they're too lazy to cook. But it's an eye-opener if you think about it. How many of us want to be successful and want to do huge and great things with our lives, but we're not willing to plan for it? And you got to think about what are some of the things that we need to do to actually plan for success to happen. Well, one of them is reading. One of them is reading. If you're not reading, you're really stunting your growth. I mean, there's so much in these little books. And I know technology has gone a long way. And personally, I believe books will probably not be around physically, but the writing part will still be around. And you're just going to be reading it on your little tablet. You don't even have to flip the page or nothing. A little click of a button and it'll send you to the next page. But it's all going to be the same thing. You're still going to be reading success principles. And I think that if you want to plan for success, me personally, and a lot of great leaders out there, so don't just take it from me. You have people like Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn. They all tell you, you should read. You should listen to some motivation in the morning, and you want to read too, because there's so much knowledge and power and wisdom in these little, small, oversized pamphlets. So this is the book that I'm reading right now by Mr. Robert H. Scholler. It's called Tough Times Never Last, but Tough People Do. And it's just a powerful book. Honestly, if you haven't read it, you might as well start reading it, especially if you're already a reader. I mean, you can't go wrong. If you read this type of material anyways, then read some more of it. If you're somebody that likes to read Twilight and things like that, but you want to be successful at the same time, and maybe you're having a little hiccup, then maybe you might want to diverge a little bit. I'm not saying don't read your Twilight. Read your Twilight. It was a good book. Hey, I read the first book and a half. So I read a little bit of New Moon. Great series. I watched the whole thing. I didn't read it, but hey, but I'm just saying, if you're that type of reader, still do you, but learn how to do success too. It's going to take you a lot further, right? It really is. Trust me. And this was another one, because Kendra and I, we're a married couple. Kendra and we choose to plan for success, even in our own relationship, because that's where the glue is. That's where her success is, and that's where my success is with each other. And I'm not sure if you can see it. It's called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff in Love. And it's a duo book. It's written by a husband and a wife by the name of Richard Carlson and Christine Carlson. And I gotta tell you, this book is just amazing. It's one of the very few books that we've read on relationships so far that really just it points you to the right direction, and it opens up your mindset. It makes things a lot more clear too. Honestly, it really does. And we plan for success every time we do it. And here's the most important part: we do this in the morning before our day is starting, before the devil tries to attack us, before any negative aspect enters our mind, enters our spirit, enters our soul. We make sure we read so we can get that study, so it can last us throughout the whole day. That's important. If you're gonna plan for success, you might as well plan as soon as you wake up. As soon as you wake up. And I know that's probably a lot of pressure for a lot of people, because that's not how your routine is. Maybe your routine is a little different. I like to plan when I go to sleep. Well, that's good, and I understand that, and I respect that. I do, but here's the problem with that. If you're not planning as soon as you wake up, then you're immediately distracted by the outside forces. And you have a lot of friends, and so do I, that I care about and I love, but they're not on the same mindset as I am. They don't have the same views, they don't have the same goals, and because of that, the next time I communicate with them, the next time that I even am around their presence, right? That's gonna get inside of my head and my spirit. I have to make sure that I'm protected no matter what. And secondly, we shouldn't even be making that many friends that have nothing to do with our future, anyways, right? Because the average 5 people that we hang out with is gonna be the average of who we become. So, I mean, that's something to keep in mind. I think I said that before in one of our videos, but I just want to make sure that I clear that out. So, definitely, whatever it is that you want to do, make sure you plan for it. Plan for success. If I'm going to go to work every morning, like Kendra and I, we wake up early in the morning because let's just say we live in China, right? I mean, our job is all the way in Africa. We literally had to take a journey to get to work. A bus, a train, and a bus. And so it's a lot of work to get to work and to come back from work. So we plan for that success. We know that if we go to sleep too late, we're not going to be able to wake up early with that same enthusiasm and power, right? So what's the point of doing that? What's the point of going to work so you can do half as good as what you were supposed to do? So we go to sleep like some babies do. Like some older people do. I hate to say it, but it's true. But it's successful. So who cares? And no offense to babies or old people, but I'm just saying though, y'all go to sleep a little earlier than some of us younger folk do. I mean, I'm in my 20s. Me and Kendra are both in our 20s. That's the last thing we want to do. But that's the first thing that comes into mind when we think about, I'm going to do good at work. I'm going to make me some money at work. And I'm going to be successful. The first thing that pops into mind, our energy. How do we get our energy? We eat healthy. Not all the time. But we eat healthy for the most part. And we make sure that we get the good rest that we need. Because if we don't get the good rest that we need, then this whole thing just goes down the drain. There's no point in even doing it anymore. So yeah, that's just an example. But if you were to work out, make sure that you're eating healthy. Plan for success. Make sure that you're eating healthy. Excuse me. If you want to be a writer, plan for success. Make sure that you have a rough draft of what you want to write. Make sure that, like with me in this video, I had to make sure that I knew what I was going to talk about before I even talked about it. Otherwise, we'd just be staring at each other. Pretty sure you don't like me because of my looks. Although I must say, anyways. So those are just some of the elements that I wanted to talk about today because I've heard it a lot. Remember, I listen to motivation pretty much every single day. Pretty much every single day. And I keep hearing the same things. So I just wanted to point it out just in case you don't know about these motivational videos because they're out there. Just in case you don't know about the books, they're out there. So if you want to win, you got to plan for it. Okay? So this is your boy saying, look, I know you want to be successful, but do you want to plan for it?